Yeah. Call meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Okay, I'm the creature of habit. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I have a moment of silence, please? Okay, thank you. So we have appointments and resignations. Item number one is a request for the town council approval to hire a town planner. And Karen, if you could.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll try to be quick because much as I'm excited to announce Talia's presence here, I'm not sure we're in the main event. So unfortunately, our planner will be moving on, as you all know, and so we did post his position. We had several applicants. We interviewed Gillette here. She is currently a planner in Hopkinton. She spent time as their clerk before that. She's got a degree in public administration from Northeastern. Also a certificate in urban informatics. She can tell us all what that's about. Long story short, she is our recommendation. She's very well qualified. Agreed to come here if you all would have.
Mr. President,
Yes.
motion to approve the hire of Talia Gillette.
Second. Discussion.
Well, part of the discussion I have is, well, you have the motion. I want to discuss it before we move
Right.
forward. What I signed on here was not to be a rubber stamp. So the applicants that we had, Talia definitely was the best applicant. But I wouldn't want to hire someone without having an interview with them. Otherwise, I'm just a rubber stamp.
And Mr. President, I want to concur with that. I've been an employer for 43 years. I've interviewed and hired probably thousands of people at this point. And I don't know who came up with the interview committee of Sean Lacey, Aaron Lees, and Planning Board Vice Chair Dan Madnick. That wasn't run by the council. And if anybody is best qualified to sit in an interview on this council, because I don't think anybody else here is an employer. I think it would have been me to sit there with anybody else that would have wanted to sit in on the interview process, obviously. So, you know, with that being said, I've mentioned before, and it's been the policy of this town over the last decade, where it's just the town council to basically rubber stamp any of the people that come before without us even. This is the first time we've gotten actually job applicants, names, and resumes. Prior to that, this council never received any of that information. So basically, going by what Council Sheehan just said, the town council is going to rubber stamp. And under the town charter, it says that the town council is the hiring and firing body. And that's been bypassed for years. So with that being said, there is other information that I have regarding the applicant. And I would actually like to see this go into executive session. So that way we can discuss some of this other information that I have. Unless you feel free for me to discuss it in open session.
Mr. President,
I don't
Excuse me,
feel.
I have the
I
floor.
was just asking for it, that's all.
I have
It's up to the
I still have
president.
the floor. With that being said, I don't know who came up with this interview committee, because I'm looking at these people and none of them are employers.
I have to interrupt. And the reason I'm interrupting is because our town charter charges our town manager with hiring and firing. We oversee it,
No,
We
it
don't
doesn't.
hire and fire.
Mr.
The
President,
charter specifically states that I will bring a list of qualified candidates to the council.
A list of qualified candidates, but, you know, it does not mean that the town council will just basically bypass their authority to be in the interview process with these people. I just don't know how the town hall has been operating like this for the last 10 years. That's why I ran to try and straighten some of these things out. Because again, like I said, the ship is going to rocks along the shore because we've gone to the #2 tax town in the state. And it's the policies of this town that are bringing that ship to these rocks. And
Mr. President,
I want to see it stop.
Yeah, I'm
This-
done.
Mr. President.
Yes,
Ms. Finch is correct on the charter. If we just review and abide by our town charter, it does say the town council may make an appointment from among the candidates submitted, may ask the town administrator to submit additional candidates, or may ask the town administrator to re-advertise the position. If a council member would like to change policy, that needs to be noted on our agenda and we can have an open discussion about it. With that, I move the question.
The town charter supports how we're doing it right now. So, that being said, we have a motion on the floor. We have a second. How do you vote?
Because
Ma'am?
Yes.
There's no public comment.
No.
We're in discussion.
We got-
Mr. Chairman, as
Point
a
of order.
taxpayer, as a
Point of order.
concerned,
She does not have
I
the right
did-
to speak. at this moment.
why do I not have a right to speak? at the
Because
town
we are in
council
discussion.
We're still in
meeting?
discussion.
Okay, so when you're done, then I will respect
Okay. Thank you.
exercising my right.
So. That being,
So are you saying that we are literally to be a rubber stamp?
no, I'm saying to where to follow the town charter.
The town charter says we are to hire and fire.
The town charter
The
puts,
charter says you can pick from amongst the candidates, Samantha just read it, or ask me to go back.
Yes, I read it. I read the charter over this morning to double check what it said. So
but it also,
I do know that you do the initial interviewing, but if you remember, the job was advertised for 2 weeks, one of which was 4th of July week, which most people don't even read the paper during that week. So with a very short window, we only received 6 applicants. I know you had said there are not many applicants available in this area. But it does seem that would be reasonable for us to at least to interview the candidate before we make a decision.
If you have questions, she's here.
I would rather not do those things in a public session. I'd rather do it in a maybe executive session.
Mr. President,
yes,
the only qualified people to interview a town planner are people who work closely with a town planner.
correct.
Another town planner, the people who are there going to be working with the zoning board, the planning board, the people who actually work with them. None of the people that are sitting at this dais are experienced at all, have no knowledge of the job qualifications of a town planner. None of you, myself included. I rely on the experts, and this is the reason why we are in this predicament, because we didn't rely on the experts. I did. And quite honestly, this is unnecessary. We have the recommendation of the town planner, of the town administrator, the vice chair of the planning board, who all have working knowledge of what needs to be done and the people who are qualified to do it. You are not, Mike is not, Mark is not, I'm not, nor is Sam.
excuse me.
So you
don't-
take the
don't speak for
responsibility.
me. You
So
don't
we
know
keep the
my
responsibility.
background, sir.
Okay. We are not gonna go there.
We're not. You're
So
absolutely right.
let's make our vote and let's move this forward.
So,
Mr. President,
yes,
just to piggyback a little bit, our planning board vice chair in his professional experience does supervise, does interviews, does things like that. So not only is he qualified as a planning board member, but in his professional capacity. I'd also just like to add on that that is how Mr. Lacy was hired. So we're continuing to follow the procedure We're continuing to follow the charter. If any of those changes would like to be made and we'd like to have an open discussion about changing those things, we should do so publicly noticed on the agenda one day.
Right.
Today's not that day.
Mr. President, about deferring to the experts all the time. I don't relinquish my responsibility as town council president. I come here with a set of experiences. Excuse me. So I come here with a set of experiences and whatnot, and I've learned I just don't defer to the experts.
No, we
You always
should
defer-
just follow.
You interrupt
No,
me.
I am done.
No, you're done, but I'm
I'm
not.
calling for a vote.
We're
How
under
do you
discussion
vote?
right now.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
Excuse me,
me.
we did not recognize a member of the public.
no, because this is,
no,
It's not-
we're voting.
You bypassed public comment.
There's no public comment.
There's no,
No,
so you're voting on something.
correct.
Obviously, that this was a done deal behind the scenes as usual. You're the second highest property tax town in the state. And we keep deferring to the experts. Last fall, you can afford it, and you would make the comment that you can afford the higher taxes. How about the people that can't? How about the people that can't? That's who I'm here to represent. I don't defer to the experts.
So we have 3 votes. How do you vote?
Nay.
I'm going to vote yes, even though I definitely have concerns. I'll talk to you about them personally. And I think there's something wrong with our procedure when we do not interview a candidate and we have to vote without.
Thanks, Talia.
Thank you. Thank
My
you for coming.
comments brief. Thank you.
Okay, so the second item on our agenda is the appointment of Jessica Purcell to fill the vacant.
Mr. President, motion to appoint Jess Purcell to the vacancy on Char Hill Regional School Committee.
All those in, any discussion?
Yes, Jessica, I want to make one comment. If it wasn't for the advice of our solicitor, if the advice of the solicitor was to appoint you, and that's the way we should follow, I would have followed that. I was only going under the guise of the recommendation of the solicitor. So with that being said, it was nothing personal against you. It was just our legal counsel giving us that opinion. And now the democratic process has worked itself out. And congratulations, and I welcome you to this committee.
Mr. President.
Yes.
First, just because somebody says you can do something, doesn't mean you should. Second, I just want to state that I'm voting in favor of this motion for the second time, not because the Supreme Court has ordered me to, but because just like on January 19th, it's the right thing to do for the voters of Richmond and to uphold my oath to the charter. Thank you.
Mr. President, I would like to echo the sentiments of Sam. This is the second time I've asked for Jessica to be appointed to the school committee. So,
And Jessica, I welcome you to the school committee. So with that being said, did we?
Motion second.
Okay, so how do you vote?
I'm welcome.
Aye.
yes,
Yes.
President motion to adjourn.
Second.
We were gonna swear Jess in.
Oh, I'm so sorry. My
Usually we don't do
apologies.
that, but we were today.
I'll remove my motion.
So
I don't know who's doing it.
who will be swearing Jess?
I'd like Jeff Levy, swear me in.
Okay. Jeff, please come up and
Repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support and obey the Constitution and laws of the United States,
that I will support and obey the constitutions of the United States,
the Constitution and laws of the
the
United States,
Constitution and laws of the United States,
of America and the Constitution and laws of the state of Rhode Island
of America and the Constitution of the
and laws.
and laws of the state of Rhode Island,
That I will observe the charter
that I will observe the charter
and the ordinances of the town of Richmond,
and the ordinances of the town of Richmond,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of my office.
the duties of my office.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, with that.
Mr. President, oh, sorry, go ahead, Rich.
Mr. President, motion to adjourn.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye.